One's a former NFL star turned esports coach.
But I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, blah, 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 blah. We're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
Mic is not on. Oh God, I did all that without the mic on. See, this is when I show my age and I'm very seasoned, so the mic was not on. Apologize for that. So do all that again. Welcome to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, the ultimate destination for everything gaming. I'm the former NFL legendary running back, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher. So if this is your weekly getaway for everything gaming, all right. We got the latest news, hottest game releases, cool game too. A game that was an old 80s TV show / 90s series. All right, something to get into that. So in-depth discussion, about some of the biggest topics in the gaming place. So if you're a casual gamer or if you're a hardcore esports fan, my Gamers Lounge has something for you and everyone. So sit down, grab your controller, settle in, and join us into a dynamic world of gaming. Boom, there it is. Did it again. So, like I was saying, was in Crandon or near Crandon in Laona, Wisconsin for Mental Health Awareness Month, and it was Prevention Week in Laona, where we did a golf event on Sunday, which in typical Wisconsin fashion, the weather was cold. It actually snowed on the second hole for myself and my boy Dorsey and I. And so we end up, kicking along, going inside and working with some of the, foundation workers, help them get ready for after the golf event once everybody started coming in, because it got a little chilly. It was snowing up there in Winona, which is about roughly 2 hours north of the Green Bay area. So flew into Green Bay for that and had a fantastic week meeting with the kids and families and the sponsors and people that, is very... I say they work hard towards Mental Health Awareness Month and Prevention Week, from family to friends to people that are dealing with mental health on whatever level, whatever struggle they have. So they spend a whole week. So this was the end of the week. They already started it last Monday. So a lot of people are doing this because this is actual Mental Health Awareness Month, the month of May. So a lot of people are probably doing this all over the United States. So this is something where we both know I'm big fan of, because I like to support it. Because the world I was in football had a lot of, even though it was a physical sport, had a lot to do with mental health, how I managed that throughout a season, throughout years of playing a brutal game of football, a game I loved, that gave me a career in my dream job as a kid, and was able to do some great things for my family but then after that, taking care of myself in the best way possible, mental health, eating and and working out on different levels to make sure I'm there, that I'm okay. I got kids that some are already have kids. I'm a grandfather, so I want to be around for all of them in big moments. So to make sure that we always got to check under the hood. Check. I wear the hat. I don't have the hat on today, but I got the wristband. It's always on. It always says, it's shout out to hope for the day. It's okay not to be okay. And I love when people read the hat when I have it on, at the airport or at the grocery store, and they're like, yeah, it is okay not to be okay. And I'm like, boom, they agree with it. So with Kimberly and the Potawatomi tribe, that was the reservation I was on for this event. Thank you. And I can't wait till next year already. We're already planning it for next year. So we're going to be there again next May to do mental health prevention week up there in Crandon, Laona. Hopefully it's not snowing. We could golf without freezing or anything like that. But I had a good time with my old teammate Dorsey, getting to know him a little bit more and what he's doing. Obviously, I know what he's doing. He's in his home, taking care of his family and raising his son and a daughter, and just living life kind of like me. He doesn't do a podcast like I do though, but he has done podcasts. We did podcasts together, something that we broke down the Packers football season on Green and Go G Lounge. So hopefully we might bring that thing back, or maybe have him on as a guest on Believe in Packers and this show here. So shout out to Dorsey, Kimberly Maglichek. I believe I said it right. See, I just said it so I didn't have to think about it. You do that to yourself because get nervous about saying people's names that you don't know how to enunciate the right way. So I just threw it at myself. Say Maglichek. Got it. Boom. Nailed it. So there you go. So we do have a special guest, but a special guest is a college student. So most likely they probably got classes or a final to take care of. So we will keep the ball rolling. I know how to roll. I know how to go with the flow. So just in case our guest ain't here, we are ready to do a fantastic show for everyone today. And so on that note, we'll take it to a break. We'll take it to a commercial, and we'll come back. We'll talk about some quick hit news bites from our man. What's his name over here? I like his hairdo. I wish I could do that. It's a wrestler, goes by the name of Cody Rhodes. So we'll be back in a minute after this break from Slide Drink. All right. Let's see here. We'll be gone. Let's see here. We'll be back in 17 seconds. See you in a few. Peace.
Whether you're deep in the digital world or out exploring the great outdoors, Slide Drink keeps the good times rolling. So power up your play with Slide Boost for energy, Slide Chill to relax, and Slide Dream to recover. No matter where your adventures take you, explore with Slide. Refresh, recharge, and repeat.
All right, we are back, and my man, I've seen him for years, and correct me if I'm wrong. He is now the WWE Champion, Cody Rhodes, but he was also a member of one of the Real Worlds that started up on MTV way back when. So I want to say, I'm not sure I can't remember which Real World he was on, either California, New York, maybe Boston, or one of them, but he was on there. And he was on Chappelle's show, and he was a little chubby, and he lost weight. And so he got in shape and became a wrestler. So that's why I remember this dude's face from. And I'm like, man, that's the same guy. And I was like, I'm not sure if it's the same guy, but it might be him. So correct me if I'm wrong, or say, yes, Ahman, that is the dude you're thinking about. Because he was on the Chappelle show on a few episodes. I remember when Dave Chappelle did their version of the Real World, and he had Cody in there. And if that wasn't even his name back then, I don't know. But he's in maybe just a tad bit of trouble with Nintendo, because we know as gamers, Nintendo don't mess around with their IP. All right. So as it reads here, you could go on IGN.com, check it out. It's undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes has revealed a love for Zelda, which we all do. I'm a big fanboy of Legend of Zelda, because as I would tell my story of my Gamers Lounge, or my Game & Orange story, that's one of the video games I started playing. And before, I think I've been corrected on the fact that it's not an RPG. It is an RPG, but it's an action RPG, right? Is Legend of Zelda, the original OG Go cartridge on the NES back in the day, Nintendo Entertainment System. So on that point, now I push to Cody. So he's also a fan. So deep that it got him a little bit in trouble, like I mentioned, with Nintendo's lawyers. As we know, Nintendo's lawyers don't mess around with their IP. So on this podcast, and his podcast is What Do You Want to Talk About? Clever name. Love it. So Rhodes explained to fellow wrestler Kit Wilson that he used to sometimes put the famous Legend of Zelda logo, the Triforce, on his boots when he stepped into the ring before being told to stop. So the three-time champion claimed that he got a cease and desist from Nintendo. Rhodes then confirmed that it was very kind. So it wasn't, going for the jugular, hey, you better do it now or you're going to lose, we're going to sue you type thing. He says they weren't coming after anybody. He said, I'm not the first guy to have the Triforce somewhere on the big screen, and Nintendo doesn't, obviously say, hey, yeah, give you the right to use that. So nowadays, Cody, as much more permanent reminder of what Zelda means to him, he has a tattoo of the Triforce on one of his fingers. So he said he lives that blankety blank. He lives it. He's about that life. I'll say that, in keeping it PC. He's about that life, which I'm about that life. And it motivates me because I got Batman on me. I got maybe between Master Chief, Link, Zelda, Mario, maybe one of them, Samus, maybe one that's going to show up, on a bicep or back shoulder blade or somewhere like that for me as well. So he said, so he goes on to say, he said, I thought the principles of the Triforce, he says, I live for that. You know what? It's that Wilson. So it says, I thought the principles of the Triforce, which are power, courage, and wisdom. For those who don't know Zelda, Zelda is the wise one. Obviously, Link is the one who got the courage, and the power is Ganon. So they make up the three parts of the Triforce, which that's the whole deal. And that was a reminder because I totally forgot about. I knew it was something to do with multiple. I knew it had a meaning to the triangle, the Triforce. Obviously, I knew something meant it was a meaning out of that. But it's been a long time since I really dug into playing and really getting the context behind all the symbols and stuff that's in Legend of Zelda, because there's so many different symbols out there that represent that game within the new games of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. So it's a lot. So, all right, as the article reads on, it says, I'm just like the idea of thinking of leaning towards your own wisdom or what you've learned and applying it and being ambiguous. All right. Being ambitious and wanting to be powerful if you can in a world that's competitive of sports and sports entertainment, and then having the courage to do it. He continues. So here you are, you're taking a dive, you bust your elbow, you're going to decide to take the dive the next night and bust your elbow even further. So I thought it was just applicable. Gotcha. So it got a picture of Cody here a few years ago, looking a little younger and a lot less blonder there. Silver there says Cody Rhodes plays Legend of Zelda 3D game at Nintendo's Art Cinema Theater while at Comic-Con 2020, July 23rd, 2011 in San Diego. So we've definitely walked past each other because I was at that Comic-Con, because I started going to Comic-Con in 2009 and I went every year after that up until 2020, until COVID. So we actually walked past each other and didn't even know it. So I thought that was pretty cool to see that here in the article here. So that's not the end of Zelda chat on that episode of the podcast either for Rhodes. So go over there. You can listen to the rest of what him and Kit Wilson talked about and breaking down Legend of Zelda. But very cool, very interesting. And hey, just got to remember, if you're going to be that WWE champion or all-time leader wrestler, you can't walk out on the screen, big screen. Make sure you get all the licensing from Nintendo approved and signed before you come on Gamers Lounge or anywhere else to showcase your fandom without Nintendo's permission, because they don't mess around at all. But real quick, I know one of his favorite games is Windwalker. He says, Windwalker's a great game here. He said they just weren't ready for how it looked. So they weren't ready. So they weren't ready, and they had grown up enough with the series and that they won it. So Windwalker is a great game. They wanted it. And so where's our edgy Zelda? Where's our Link? Where's like he's growing? What is it? So here it comes, Twilight Princess. So can't wait for the movies to hit for me anyway. I know that's a big thing coming up here in a few, I say within the year or later this year. That's when Zelda is dropping. So anybody in the chat knows when Zelda's dropping, please drop it in the chat. Let me know. But that is that. And before we jump to another break, I want to sit here and talk about the digital divide. So I'm going to go and slow things down a little bit here and get this up on the slate. My fundraising efforts of building esports rooms across America. We got a couple going up this year. Super excited about one in particularly in Menominee, in Casino, Wisconsin, Shawano area at the Menominee University campus and the family center there on site. We are building out, we're helping them build out an esports lab. And my foundation, along with Stay Plugged In, we're able to help the Menominee Family Center there build out and order and get the funding and help design their esports lab. So if you want an esports lab near you, you got to come to my website. We got it right there on the top of the screen. Check out the website. Go to that link. That's where you could be part of the fundraiser, but then you can find more out at the AhmanGreenFoundation.com about the fundraiser and also Tiltify. So I'm about to pull up Tiltify account here. And let me share the screen with you. Boom and boom. So you could go there. You could do things on the stream when we're streaming live, like maybe right now. Like if you want to donate right now, donate a live challenge time. That means challenge me in whatever you want for $15. A fitness there, like make me do some push-ups, which I love doing push-ups. So I'm gonna have a good time doing that. It might get a little sweaty, you know. Shout out to Akido. My boy, I got my One Piece shirt on. He got me a few weeks ago there in Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Gaming Classic. Appreciate you, man. One Piece is the show. Cannot find any cards anywhere down here in Texas. No, I cannot find nothing One Piece. And then also you could donate $30 to, you know, pick a game or a topic of maybe this show next week. We're coming on episode 300. We got 2 episodes to go. We'll be hitting episode 300. Super proud of that landmark, milestone, I would say. And so, and so on for the t-shirts here. You can see me there pointing at the t-shirt. So it's the all-time leading Russian t-shirt. The t-shirt was designed by myself, my wife, and one of her friends from high school. Shout out to Larissa. Hey, they're crafty. They know what to do. And so they made this shirt, created it. I gave them some of the guidelines, said, hey, you got to do this, don't do that. And it looks good. So people are having the opportunity. It's been a lot of purchases so far. So we're looking for more. So if you want to be a part of this and help build out an esports facility and have your little piece of history and token to remind you of that, it is a fun t-shirt. All-time leader Russia is me on there when I was beefy. I guess I'm not beefy no more. I'm more lean muscle. That's what I've been told, which I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I'm seasoned. I'm 49 years old and I feel great. So, all right. So head over to Digital Divide, copy, paste that link, take a picture of it, go to the website, AhmanGreenFoundation.com, please, and find out what we're doing to help esports facilities or esports labs get built across the nation with Stay Plugged In as well. So on that note, let me take it to a little break here. And who we got coming up? We got Stay Plugged In, of course. We're talking about Stay Plugged In. We're going to talk about them, and we're going to run to a commercial. Be back here in 26 seconds. Peace.
Looking to turn your passion for gaming into a college opportunity? Stay Plugged In is the premier platform connecting esports players with college programs nationwide. Whether you're grinding on Valorant, Rocket League, or Overwatch, Stay Plugged In gives you the tools to showcase your skills and earn esports scholarships. Don't just play, get recruited. Visit staypluggedin.com and start your journey to the next level today.
All right. And on that note, we are here for this week in esports history. So May 11th to all the way to the end of this week, May 15th, we saw fun things going on. And one of them is right here way back in May 1995. May 1995. I just graduated high school. That's one thing I'm gonna say. I just graduated May 11th, 1995. I just graduated high school. Probably about a week or so, because our graduation was like on May 2nd or May 3rd, or somewhere on a Saturday or Friday. And then I had state. So state was May, I think, 15th and 16th. So this weekend basically was a state championship, which I won the 100, the 4x1 relay, and the 200. So I went triple gold there my senior year. So that was a fun time. But in video game, in the esports space, this is what you had going on in May of 1995.
1995, the very first day of the very first E3, Sega shocked the gaming world and released the Sega Saturn console in the United States. Sega had released the Japanese version in November of 1994. This sneak launch was months ahead of what was supposed to be its proper launch that September, which they had dubbed Saturn Day. The likely motivation was to get a jump on Sony and its impending launch of PlayStation on September 9th, 1995. But this strategy seemed to largely blow up in Sega's face. While Saturn had a pack-in game, the wildly popular, in Japan, Virtua Fighter, it was priced $100 higher than Sony's system. Most third parties weren't ready to ship, and Sega alienated certain retailers they passed over for their sneak launch, most notably KB Toys, who would never sell Saturn. The extended head start would be virtually erased in PlayStation's launch weekend, and Saturn was really a serious contender in North America after the 1996 holiday season. While largely considered a failure, Saturn was a modest success in Japan. And
Sega Saturn fans, hey, if you a Sega Saturn fan, hey, raise your hand. I know I am. I had Sega Saturn. I had Sega. I had the Sega Genesis. What else did I have? Super Nintendo, or no, I had the regular Nintendo. So let me flick it back on that note there. So we also have that going on. Then also in online gameplay, Mobile Legends news, we have updated on the high, and I highlighted that the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Women's Invitational is expanding for the 2026 year. So the CAETA is securing a spot for these teams coming up right here. Let me share this screen here on Instagram. You can see this up of the qualified to the Mobile World Invitationals. So you have the SEATA secured their spot for the Esports World Cup, which is every summer, this summer over in the Middle East, excuse me. So after an incredible run in the NWI, the CN qualifiers, the CAETA emerged victorious as the champions will officially represent China for the international stage in the WMI and at the Esports World Cup this summer. So a lot of big things going on there in the Esports World Cup and in the esports world this week. And you have some other things going on in the esports space this week here. You got down in Georgia right now, ATL to be exact, is DreamHack going on. And you have Games Week there in Georgia. You have the Georgia Mixer. You have the Esports Summit that's going to happen. Also the Game Industry Mixer, which is scheduled for this Friday in Uptown Atlanta, is bringing together industry leaders from content creators to esports pros and companies as well. And over in more esports news, I say new history. Illinois High School Association results following the state champion tournament on May 2nd. The Unit 5 esports teams was recognized as the historic finish, winning titles in Mario Kart and placing high in Rocket League there in Illinois. So shout out to the Joliet area, Bolingbrook area. Shout out to the family members that I have. Is it Uzardos and Antoses? What's up, y'all? So we got that going on this week in esports history. And on that note, we'll take it to a commercial. We got our people, good friends. Shout out to my boy Tim and crew at Lucid Sound. So be back here in 29 seconds.
Level up your game with Lucid Sound, the next evolution in gaming audio. Whether you're Team Xbox or PlayStation, Lucid Sound has you covered with premium wireless headsets for Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PS4. Hear every step, every shot, and every detail loud and clear. Comfort meets clarity. game with lucid sound.
All right, next up we got, let me see here, get where I need to be. Here we go. We're moving right along the show today. And next up is, I believe, game releases, y'all.
Release the games. It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
All right, here we go. Game release of the week is Battlestar. Like I said, remember it was a show from the late 80s, maybe early 90s. Space show, not Star Trek. It was that other show, Battlestar Galactica. So let me get the stream. Get the video going here, and let's get it. All right, Battlestar Galactica. It's shattered hopes. So you got I say turn-based game here, where obviously you got the oh, that was a quick. I thought I was gonna go into deep conversation with this one, but it'll repeat itself. Actually, let me pause it here for a second. Here, let me grab. Oops. Oh, let me not do that. But yeah, Battlestar Galactica was the old classic TV series that now has a game that's still alive today. So Scattered Hopes is a turn-based space shooter game here, where you're gonna, bring your friends online and try to decimate and building out the armies, building out the fleets, and then obviously trying to bring peace to the galaxy, which what space game brings actual peace to the galaxy? So this let's be real with that. All right. And what's up, Bad As Rocks? How you doing? Not much, man. What works? What work matters. You are making the difference. Love who you are. Appreciate it, Bad As Rocks. So that's game of the week, Battlestar Galactica Scattered Hopes. Check it out. It's on PC. It is out already for the week. All right. Check it out. I know I am. Have some fun with it. There. And then we are next up. Before I forget, we got video game history of the week here. So we got some fun stuff here. I already talked about Legend of Zelda, right? We saw that, and Sega Saturn being dropped. But we have another game here during that week, or during this week, years ago, back in 1997. We had, let me share that with you. Play it there. Hoya. Oh, wow. You heard that? Hoya. All right. There's a Shadow Warrior released back in 1997. It's the 3D Realms released the DOS version of the first-person shooter Shadow Warrior in the United States. It is remembered for its over-the-top combat, kind of like Doom. Looks like Doom a little bit. Famously as the developer of the Titan 2.0 engine, which later used in games like Empire, Earth, etc. But that is Doom with ninja stars. Oh, y'all can't see it. Sorry. This is me getting the seasons. You see how old I am. I forget to put a video up. But hey, we're rolling. Just keep it rolling. But yeah, this definitely looks like Doom, but with a katana and ninja stars. So I'm super excited about that. Got that going on. And this next one for video game history of the week. Between Doom gameplay look alike here. This game, Shadow Warrior, appreciate you a lot. The next game is a fun and oldie but goodie classic. Can't never get this one. Never gets old. Or no, actually, before I get to that one, I got this fun one here. This item here, which I don't remember this being released by Nintendo. But check this out here, y'all, real quick. This item right here was released by Nintendo. So in a major industry shift, the Learning Company included broader bound software merged with and became a version of Mattel, briefly becoming Mattel Interactive a massive force. So they came up with this controller right here called the Move controller, where you don't even actually touch it. What's up, Horseboat? How you doing? And it was a controller, a handless, touchless controller for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the Super Nintendo around that time. This was U-Force back in May of 1999, so this might have been the Super Nintendo time. So this came out on May 13th. I never knew they even made a controller of such. So this is interesting to know that on May 13th, 1999, the U-Force dropped for the Super Nintendo, and I think the Nintendo and other Nintendo consoles. Well, it was just Super Nintendo and Nintendo at that time. So maybe 64. No, 64 is about to come out. So didn't know that. The commercial was definitely from the 80s. I'll say that much. Or this is 90, sorry, 1999. So sorry. It looks like an 80s. That's how old it looks to me. It is 90. It totally says 1999, but it feels like and looks like the 80s, but it's not. But there you go. You move, it knows. And the fun, this is the good stuff. Finally, to what I want to hear and see. All right. You hear that noise?
Mario's Big Adventure is now on the Nintendo
All right,
DS.
Nintendo. So on May 15th, so this Friday, 2006, Super Mario Brothers launched. Nintendo released a new Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo DS, bringing Mario back to his 2D platforming roots. It was a massive success, selling over 30 million copies, sparking a new sub-series that extended into the Wii, the 3DS, the Wii U, and the Nintendo Switch 1, which you could say now. So I remember playing this game. I believe I have this game behind me somewhere with all the toys are at for my season 40. I'm a 10-year-old plus 49 years, or 10-year-old plus 39 years. So there you go. All right. So check that out. Old school Mario in a new school.
Moves with a simple control
but this
scheme.
is obviously back.
Dash and jump your way
2006. I was still playing football. Oh my God, this was 20 years ago. I was actually still a Packer running the ball. And that's when I went to Best Buy. The people know me at Best Buy in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Every Tuesday, I would go to grab movies or video games every Tuesday. So that's what I did on my free time. Just go buy video games and go see the hot new movie releases. Hey, what I'm gonna do? Don't be mad. I loved it. Go to pick up movies and then buy video games. But that game right there was a part of my collection, still is, and we'll check it out. All right. Oh my goodness, that was awesome to see. Horseboat, how's your day going, sir? All right, we got all the things, and now we're coming up to what's on stream here.
Row your boat gently up the. Sorry, excuse me. It's time for what's on stream.
So what's on stream, man? We got season 1 or 2, Fallout. Season 2, episode 7, the handoff. So we got some fun stuff going on with this episode here. It's getting grimy. It's getting, we're in a dystopian world, so it's already grimy and nothing's good going on down there or up there, upstairs or downstairs. As I get ready to talk about this game and series. So they have, in this episode, is one of the most, I say, emotionally charged and symbolic episodes for the season. So as the title says, everything is power, responsibility, truth, and survival all being passed from one person to another. And in classic Fallout fashion here, okay, the closer characters get the answers. All right. The more dangerous the world becomes, basically, is what's going on here. So as I go on here for episode 7, so you always end up back where you started That was one of the lines in the show. So that line hangs over the entire episode. And the handoff explores a painful truth about this episode, about the series. No matter how far you run, the past eventually catches up to you. And when you watch a movie, you think people can outrun their past, but writers, directors, they know what the hell they know. They know how to piece things together. So every major character is forced to confront old choices, open up old wounds, and we know how that looks on in a series or on a show. All right. And the system that shapes them all. And so the wasteland may consistently evolve, but people still carry the same fears, some of them loyalties, and also the mistakes they've made through that time. All right. Here. So we're talking season 2, episode 7 for Fallout. And this is what I do. This is what's on stream here. You can find it on, I believe, Prime Video. It's on Prime. So we start with Lucy, and Lucy's always, ladies first. Got to break it down to who and what she's about and where she's trying to go. She found her dad last week, and she's not happy because her dad is one of the baddies. And so Lucy's journey right here takes a huge step forward. She's no longer sheltered by the vault dweller from season 1 like she was, being naive of the information of the stuff that's going on the surface and rumors about her dad. So she's starting to make difficult decisions a lot quicker. She begins carrying responsibilities for others, and also realizes leadership often means sacrificing some things out there. That is, a true leader sacrifices a lot, and sometimes don't talk about it. So the handoff for Lucy is emotional here, right? She's inheriting the burden of the truth of her father. So the father being that, he was one of the people involved along with bringing the world to where it is, and the vault system and why that's there, and what they were trying to do to change people being in that system, and kind of like telling them one thing and doing something else. So the more she learns about the vault tech scenario, the harder it becomes to separate survival from mortality. But unlike many around her, Lucy still fights to hold on all that empathy, that caring that she knows that she was raised with, with her parents, with both parents. So that makes her, that makes her very dangerous, because she can snap at any moment there. So just got to be aware of that, and be mindful of that, because she might snap. She might break. When people break, it doesn't look good here at all. Let me see what I could get here. All right. All right, we got some here. We got some video going. All right, push it up to there. And as I'm talking, breaking down to the ghoul now. And remember the ghoul, Mr. Goggins. So the ghoul continues to wrestle with the reality of the history. It keeps repeating itself for him, because his wife, remember, she was a big part of this scenario, or the whole problem that is Fallout right now, a dystopian Earth. All right. So this episode leans heavily into his exhaustion of all this information, right? So no physical exhaustion, not physical exhaustion, mental and emotional fatigue here. He's seen systems fail. He's seen power corruption, families break apart because, one of them being his own, and humility rebuilt the same mistakes and then repeatedly did it. So the line, "you always end up back where you started," feels deeply personal to him. And yet Lucy keeps pulling him toward something he thought that he lost forever, which is hope. Not his family. He's still looking for his family, but hope, So Maximus, then he's on that path of really trying to he's in a crucial path of definitely some crossroads coming at him. So for much of the series, we've seen him, search for his purpose, search for respect for himself through people, and obviously respecting himself in general, and then also belonging. But the handoff forces him to ask this: are you serving people or serving the system? So from the time he killed the one, commander, to now, he's still questioning himself. And I think right now he should know that he's definitely serving the people, because of all the corruption that's going on behind closed doors here. And so that on that mode, so he his conflict with authority becomes sharper as he starts realizing the organization and trust may not deserve loyalty at all. And that's where he continues to do. And he needs to do that. He should see that. I see that. We all see that if you're watching it. So the episode feels like the beginning of Maximus truly becoming his own person. And so then the whole Vault Tech legacy extends, or I say expands. The conspiracy is growing, and this marriage is part of the conspiracy. If you see the marriages on the screen right now, that's happening, which is, not really a marriage. It's a forced marriage, if anything, planned thing. So this episode reveals more about how control is transferred from one generation to another, from the corporation to the institution, and from fear to obedience. And so the handoff just isn't just about objects or information. It is about ideology, because ideology is basically your idea of what the world should be. And that's where the captain here, who eventually lost their eye and getting married to the one guy trying to force her, she's under that cloud. So Vault Tech influence survives because people keep inheriting the system without questioning it, because they see all this going on. You see a company growing, and like, okay, they're successful, but you never question why. How are they successful? What are they doing, good or bad, to make this stuff happen? So Lucy is beginning to question that part of it, and other people are too. So, but the one thing we know about this episode and about Fallout, the Wasteland never stops testing people. So one of the strongest themes in this repetition is the violence repeats, greed repeats, and survival patterns we're going to repeat. So the world may not look different after the bombs, but human nature hasn't changed much, and we already know that. This is in all movies, especially dealing with zombie movies. It happens like this. You either got the zombies or the humans. Which one are we going to deal with here? So, and the Wasteland knows exactly how to exploit that, because it's just a wasteland. There's not much going to be in command there for this. So on that note, that is the breakdown for episode 7, the handoff, season 2 of Fallout. Like I said, season 3 has been greenlighted. Super excited about that. So come back next week, and I think we're wrapping up. We should have only a couple more episodes to go. I think it's 9, maybe 10 episodes, so maybe one more week. If not, I'll be jumping to something else next week. But if we do, I believe it is 2 more episodes for Fallout, but I'll figure that out next week. But right now, we headed to my gamer tips of the week. All right, and we've been playing in a fighting game space here, right? Playing some fighting games. And so when you're playing fighting games, so Ahman Green's gamer tip of the week for fighting games is watch better players with a purpose. Don't just watch them to be like, oh man, that's a good player, I'm gonna watch him, or he's doing this with X player, that player, this, that, and the other, character, excuse me. So really watch the details. Like when I used to watch, my favorite, so when I go to a gaming event, like I've been to Frosty Frosties a few times, I've been to CEO once, and so I hover and I watch players play. And there's some players that you watch their patience, you watch their technique, you watch their best practices, study. So don't just like spectate and be a fan, actually break down, what they're doing, right? If they're a really good defender, they master defense, or they anti-air everything. They know how to take the high kicks and the high punches, all that out. Watch their movement, watch their spacing, watch their decision-making on when to attack or when not to attack, because sometimes that is crucial in the victory. Because if you get too aggressive and you attack too soon, then you could give the momentum to your opponent, and you don't want to do that. So learn why they win. And so just like me in football years ago, I watched, Walter Payton, I watched Barry Sanders. I even watched guys that were playing along with me, at the same time, like a Adrian Peterson or a Ricky Williams or Ricky Waters. Watch my teammate Dorsey Levens, right there in the house, in Lambeau. We'll get to watch him. He's a professional running back and successful, and watch what they do to make them, what makes that player or that FGC player good about their management of their character on the screen. If it's a Mario player, Super Smash Brother player, or a Mortal Kombat fighter or player, or a Tekken player, or Guilty Gear, or Grand Blue, whatever game they play, what makes them or why are they winning? Is it their patience? Is it the spacing? Is it the movement? Is it the decision making? Is there defense? Or is it the straight up attacking without fear of losing? Whatever it is, that's what you want to research if you want to be the best. That it's like watching with intention. Yep. Not spectating. So studying, not just spectating. Good job there, Cowboy Knight, dropping that in there. Yes, that is what you do. That's how I watch film. Why is this team got the best defense in football, between the Buccaneers and the Bears? And during my time on the football field, they had great leadership and they had some hellified athletes. They have, between the Bears defense, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, to name a few, Sweet Pea, the left or right corner there, Mike Brown, college teammate of mine. They're all dudes. They're all good athletes, and then they're all smart athletes. Tampa Bay, Warren Sapp, Booger McFarland, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber, Dexter Jackson, John Lynch, just to name a few. I played against those guys, and of course, I had to find out what made them good. What made the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense good, along with the Bears defense was good. It was they were physical, just like us on offense. So that means we had to be physical, and so we knew this as players that when we played against Tampa, we played against Chicago. Not other teams. We're not saying other teams that we played weren't physical, but we knew these two teams defensively, they were going to be physical and fast. Tampa Bay defense, fast and physical because they're from Florida. They're playing a warm climate. So they are going to come downhill very fast. They're going to be in the A gap, B gap before I know it, if I'm trying to run the ball or even trying to pick up the blitz. So be ready for that. So same with fighting games, is this player playing fast? Is they trying to, is there a pattern? There's a pattern to the fighting they're throwing at me right now and trying to get me off balance or anything like that. And I've seen fighters in FGC championship games do that, from Tekken to Street Fighter to Guilty Gear. You can have a pattern to yourself, but then obviously mix it up to then throw your opponent off. But for you as an up and coming player, watching them better players will help you get better for sure. So on that note, hey, we didn't have, which is cool. I know, like I said, Coby, excuse me, the EA Sports Championship most likely had, class or something, because I know he's a college student. You got stuff going on. Sometimes you forget. No problem. We'll get him on the show here next week, if not the week after that. But I want to appreciate everybody jumping in today for the Gamers Lounge. Hope you had a fantastic time. And let me see. I'm never rated out off the Gamers Lounge. Let me go over to Twitch real quick. And today I'll be back on for Wingman Wednesday. Halo going on this afternoon. Might have some guests with me. Might have some people with me. But let me take these banners down. Boom, boom. Let me put this one up. The Discord. Let's put the Discord up right there. Join the Discord. So we haven't rated out. I've always forgotten to raid out. That's the problem. I've always forgot to raid out here. Oh, where is it at? I'm going to raid out to somebody. Who we going to raid out to? Oh, we got Mashi. We got Pooch. We got Terry Sang. I just rated out to Terry last week, right before I left. Who's that? We might do Chef Steve. Let's do Chef Steve. He's right at the top. Let's do Chef Steve. We're going to raid out to him. Let's see if I can raid from here, from StreamYard. Chef. I might have to get Chef Steve on here one time. 330. See, can I raid that? Did it pop up? Thanks for the socials there, Tom. Naughty. Appreciate you. Let's see, did it? Let me see if I can see myself. It's going to be weird. Did it raid out? Oh, there's audio. Did it raid out? Oh, it didn't raid. Nope. Did it? Let me try it again. Raid. Chef. EFSTE 330. There it is, raiding out to Chef Steve. So everybody coming into the Gamers Lounge, tell Chef Steve I said hello. Be jumping off for a little bit, jumping back on a little bit later on some Halo Infinite, finishing up my battle pass and all that. And remember, go to the Discord, join the Discord. You can learn when I'm playing, when I'm streaming other game and streams that I do. here on the Mind Green TV and NIL TV Esports. That's another channel that I'm a part of. We'll be getting some athletes in here get game as well. Shout out to my guy Hank Basket and Coby Robinson with the WFA, the DC Divas, I believe. A little bit of everybody coming here and playing games here. So on that note, let me go right on out. And I see y'all next week here on a Mind Green Gamers Lounge. Where we at? Let me see here. Banners. Oh, did he do that? Thanks for watching. Here we go. Boom. See y'all later. Bye. Bye. Let me see. Oh, where we at? There it is. Boom. Oh.